I recently recorded a message called Contrived Warfare. It's about partnering with others to do evil under the guise of good. And this is somewhat of a follow-up. I could have included this, but it's a separate message. The thing is, if you have partnered with the devil to fight against God, that's not a good position to be in. At some point in time, judgment comes, and you may not escape unscathed. There are times when the Lord will make a way of escape, and you'll be able to escape. But if the Lord makes a way where He makes something clear to you, that you're fighting against my will, and you do not get yourself out of the situation, if you do not leave, then you become a willing participant in trying to oppose God. Samuel said to Saul, the rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. And in the same chapter of the Bible, 1 Samuel 15, I'm going to share with you something that happened in verses 1 through 7, using the ESV version of the Bible. And Samuel said to Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now therefore, listen to the words of the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I have noted what Amalek did to Israel in opposing them on the way. This has been a long time. The Lord doesn't forget anything. So I have noted what Amalek did to Israel in opposing them on the way when they came up out of Egypt. I pause. The Israelites were doing what God told them to do. The Amalekites were opposing them. You do not want to oppose those who are serving the Most High God. In Acts 13, Paul and Barnabas tried preaching the gospel to Sergius Paulus, but Elymas, the sorcerer, tried opposing them. He walked away blind for a season for trying to oppose the gospel of Jesus the Christ. The Lord continued, now go and strike Amalek and devote to destruction all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey. One thing about the Lord, He is merciful until He is not. He is gracious until He is not. You may have heard from Exodus 32:33, where the Lord told Moses, I'll be gracious to those whom I'll be gracious, and I'll be merciful to those I'll be merciful. So the Lord, He's merciful, He's gracious. But some people have judgment hanging over their heads, and they do not even realize it. And when I say the Lord is gracious or merciful until He's no longer merciful, the Lord is merciful. But come Revelation 20, mercy ends, judgment comes. So don't play games with God. With the house of Amalek, judgment had come for the destruction of everything and everyone. God's judgment. You don't want to be partnered with those who are under God's judgment. Revelation 18. It is said, come out from among her, my people, lest you share in her judgment. Revelation 2, the Lord speaking about Jezebel and those who tolerated her, about sharing in her judgment. You don't want to share in other people's judgment. So the Lord commanded Saul through Samuel to obliterate, annihilate the Amalekites. The Lord is merciful, and thanks to Abraham's intercession, where if there were 10 righteous people in Sodom, the Lord would spare the entire city. But couldn't find 10. The Lord allowed righteous Lot and his family to escape. When the judgment of the Lord came upon Sodom and surrounding cities, they were leveled. God is not mocked. Continuing. So Saul summoned the people and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 men on foot, and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to the city of Amalek, and lay wait in the valley. Then Saul said to the Kenites, Go, depart, go down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you from them. For you showed kindness to all the people of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites, and Saul defeated the Amalekites from Havilah as far as Shur, which is east of Egypt. So Saul gave the Kenites an opportunity to escape. If they wouldn't leave, then they would also be annihilated. So if you're in a position where you join the devil in fighting against God, and maybe didn't realize it, get out while you can. Because if you don't, then those who you're fighting with, under the guise of sometimes fighting for God, you will share in their judgment, and you have no one to blame but yourself. Because after this message, you are warned.